game-based approach to teaching tennis using modified games is promoted in tennis teaching programs worldwide and is being advocated by the USTA graduate level professional tennis management program, as well as by the International Tennis Federation and Tennis Canada. We refer to this as a play, practice, play approach. See suggested sources at the end of the video. Play, practice, play aligns with the teaching gains from understanding approach often taught in physical education and promoted around sports programs in the world, where instructional practice starts with a modified game that are based on simplified versions of the adult game. Key information elements such as the rules, equipment, game structures are adjusted to facilitate skill learning or to emphasize tactical concepts. Games can be cooperative in nature, working with a partner to achieve a challenge, or competitive in nature, where the intent is to win the point to win the game.
From game played, learners engage in a practice designed to improve skill and the tactical application of that skill. Then learners return to the initial game and apply their new learning.
Tennis Canada has embraced this play first, then practice to then play again in what they have designed as a team approach through their systematic, progressive way of coaching tennis. The play, practice, play approach is summarized in the model, as you can see. The key in this approach is starting a lesson with players organized into small teams. After a suitable warm-up, they play a modified game, scoring points for their team. The game encourages students to play different opponents and is typically set up with the player scoring for their team in a limited time period. The game is set up to emphasize a stroke and a tactical idea that a tennis teaching professional wants to work on from one of the three categories, such as I can rally, I can start a point, and I can play net. The core of this approach is promoting fun through challenging games and social interaction, with the player learning the need to work on a certain idea being emphasized by the modified game. Once the players have engaged in a modified game with different levels of success, the tennis coach can then work on a practice process to develop a certain fundamental skill related to the tactical idea to help the players improve in their ability to play the game. We'll unpack this process in later videos, but key is that the players practice a fundamental and then return to the game to apply it to gain a tactical advantage. They perceive a connection between the game they have played and the skilled fundamental they are practicing, a perception-action connection. The approach advocated by Tennis Canada connects to ecological dynamics in learning to play tennis by creating affordances that encourage players to engage in the game. They also promote a team idea where players playing for a team encourage them to feel a sense of team affiliation, they're playing for their teammates, and they're playing against a variety of opponents. Tennis Canada and the ITF promotes games that build in this idea of rotation of opponents, allowing players to learn from different players. Critical in this approach is that all players are learning by adapting their actions based on the outcome of a point and how different opponents respond within the game structure. A cognitive theory of learning called enactivism, related to research on artificial intelligence, refers to this as a participatory sense-making process, a movement conversation. Cognitive engaged individuals become part of a coupled system. For tennis players in a game, each point is a learning experience, a movement conversation, as they strive to gain advantage, continuously testing each other, adapting to each other, developing more refined skills. Key idea is that players need to continually search for different solutions to the same problem, a process of trial and error adjustments, until their actions more effectively adapt around the affordances in their environment that they can attempt to take advantage of when they play the game. This participatory sense-making process is a movement conversation when two players become part of a coupled system. The coupling means that the action of one player is mutually connected, enabled, or constrained by the game structure and the actions of the opponent. This embodied movements, both consciously and non-consciously, create continuous interactions between the players, communicate intent in the competing action spaces in the game. In the next video, we will talk about how to modify and create sustainable competition by building on this idea of coupled action spaces in modified games. Thank you for listening.